Hi there, welcome. If you don't know who I am, my name is Emily Good, and today I'm going to be showing you the recent books that I have bought. Over the last couple of months, I have been super excited about, I've been purchasing like a book here and there to, sorry about the lighting, you know me, I'm in my kitchen, and I don't have professional lighting, maybe one day. I just had to act like I was gonna get up and then it brightened up. So yeah, I've been excited. Like every couple of weeks I've been buying a book here or there. So I've collected quite a few new things. I did just do my unhaul. I did do my whole thing about talking about how I feel like it's disrespecting books, just buying, like binge buying them just for the sake of buying books, because that's why I do it sometimes. Just because I'm like, oh gosh, I'm feeling sad. I need to go to the bookstore and surround myself with books and buy books that I may not even like. So these are all books. This is a mindful book haul, I will say. A mindful book haul for me. So all of these books, like I've got Penguin Classics Deluxe editions in here, which if you know me, you know that I'm really trying. I love those books. I love a floppy paperback. I love the covers. I got books that I feel like I'm excited about, so they're classics that I'm really excited to read. I'm excited to have them on my bookshelf. I'm excited to be able to touch them whenever I want. So I'm excited about that. I have another classic here that's a Wordsworth edition, hardback, super beautiful. I just saw it and I loved it. But again, a classic, so I don't know, classics to me like just seem like they deserve to be on your shelf. Like you deserve to have classics on your shelf, I guess. And 3 new Tundra books that are L.M. Montgomery. I have 3 novels written by L.M. Montgomery that I'm very excited to show you. And then I have a horror book that I'm actually almost finished listening to on Audible. And I've been enjoying it very much. It's giving me very Carrie vibes, which is exactly what it's sort of inspired by. Okay, so I forget what all I was saying, but I purchased this because while I am listening to it on my Audible, and I'm very much enjoying it, and again, I am almost done, I am just really loving the character of Mary. I love the spinoff. I've never read Carrie by Stephen King, but I know the gist, and I really loved Nat Cassidy's introduction where he was talking about the inspiration for the book. So he basically is writing off of Carrie if she hadn't had like magical powers and like such an extreme story about her. So Mary is a middle-aged Carrie, a Carrie who grew up and she's going through some stuff. I'm really enjoying the fact that she is a middle-aged woman who has, as far as she knows, has been invisible, not very noticeable. She doesn't really know who she is, and I'm enjoying seeing her figure it out. I cannot do a very good job right now with this because, like I said, I am not finished, but if you want to hear why you should read Mary, if you're into like horror, I suggest watching the video that I link down below. As always, I am linking something from Mikala Reads' channel. She's just been so inspiring to me. I just really enjoy watching her content, and she went on and on and on about why Mary is a must read for you. So I will link that down below because it's totally worth watching. I immediately had to pick it up after I watched that video. So I highly recommend it. It's a wonderful story. I love the cover. She's just middle-aged, sitting in the bathtub, enjoying writing in her crazy journal, or not crazy, I shouldn't say crazy, but yeah, so I've really enjoyed this. I felt the need to have it on my bookshelf. That's my only impulsive buy. Okay, so let me get into Ellen Montgomery. Okay, so I am in my Ellen Montgomery era. I am loving the coziness of her work. She is the author of Anne of Green Gables. If you haven't watched anything or you don't really read like classic type of stuff, Anne of Green Gables is a super memorable, popular, older series, and Ellen Montgomery is who is responsible for that. So I am in my era. I read Emily of New Moon, the Emily of New Moon trilogy. I loved it, was obsessed with it, and I now have felt the need to read all of her other books just because I love her writing. I love her stories. I love her characters. I love everything about everything. So I'm going to read all of them, and I know that I'm going to love every single one. The Blue Castle, I'm just going to read you the back of it because I don't really know what it's about, and I want more people to be reading Ellen Montgomery if you haven't read her yet. Especially the novels. I definitely don't see anybody reading like just her standalone, so I want to encourage it. I have not read this. This is The Blue Castle. Stunning cover. This is Tundra. You can find it on Amazon. I'm sure you can find it somewhere much more sustainable, more environmentally responsible, but this is where I got my copy, if I'm being honest with you. At 29, Valancy has never been in love, and it seems romance has passed her by. Living with her overbearing mother and meddlesome aunt, she finds her only consolations in the forbidden books of John Foster and her daydreams of the Blue Castle. Then a letter arrives, and Valancy decides to throw caution to the winds. For the first time in her life, Valancy does and says exactly what she wants. Soon, she discovers a surprising new world full of love and adventures far beyond her most secret dreams. So I read that description and I absolutely had to purchase this. There's a few more that I would like to purchase, but like I said, I'm taking a break from purchasing things. But this sounds phenomenal to me. I love that the main character is 29 because I typically read Ellen Montgomery's books about younger characters, which I always love. I always relate to them. But I'm really excited about this one. This is probably the next one that I'll pick up. Right now I'm in my spooky season era, so if I need a little break from that, then maybe I will pick this up because I'm super excited about it. Here's another one. I haven't read it. I just recently purchased it. Mistress Pat, again with the Tundra version. I am telling you. I love it. I love a good floppy paperback, you know. When she was 20, nearly everyone thought Patricia Gardner ought to be having beaux, except, of course, Pat herself. For Pat, Silver Bush was everything, both home and heaven. All she could ever ask of life was bound in the magic of that lovely old house on Prince Edward Island, where good things never change. And now there was more than ever to do, what with planning for the Christmas family reunion, entertaining a countess, playing matchmaker, and preparing for the arrival of the new hired man. Yet, as those she loved so dearly started to move away, Pat began to question the wisdom of her choice of home over romance. Was it possible to be lonely at Silver Bush? So since she's getting ready for Christmas here, I think I might save this book until like December when I'm doing my like leading up to Christmassy books. I'm starting to get that TBR together because I'm starting to get excited about it, even though I'm in my spooky season. But I think that this might be a fun little book to kind of take me into that season. So I'm excited about this one as well. This one I did read. I did just talk about it in my wrap-up, but The Story Girl. I read this. It was cute. I didn't love it as much as the series that I read by Ellen Montgomery. Still obsessed with the writing. I loved the character of the Story Girl. All the kids are so kind and wonderful to each other, with a few little scrapes, but they love each other. They love to hang out outside. Everything is super descriptive, and I love the way that the Story Girl weaves tales. I probably would have liked this better if I knew that there was more to read about it, because I want to see where the Story Girl ends up, and I felt a little bit disappointed that I didn't get to find that out, because of course Ellen Montgomery is no longer with us. So I will never know what happened to the story girl, which disappoints me a little bit. But, you know, novels will be novels. Standalones will be standalones. So, yeah, this was cute. But it wasn't my favorite. I think that I'll like these other two a lot more, but we'll see. Here's my Wordsworth edition of Little Women. I saw the cover and I was thinking I wanted to start collecting these ones, the little hardbacks. But if you know me, I really genuinely don't enjoy reading hardbacks. I will read this one though. I just really loved, I don't know if, yeah, it shines. And I think it's gorgeous. I just really think it's, I could see like hanging it up on a shelf in my daughter's room. She and my sons share a room, and they don't share a room with anybody right now, except for me. And well, but once they're older and are in their own room, I can see like having this on a shelf of my daughter's room. So it's kind of, I don't know, I just really love it. And on the back, there's skates and like more golden embossment. And it says, I could never love anyone as I love my sisters. So I think it's stunning. I'm so thrilled to have this. And like I said, I was thinking about collecting those, but it's more important to me to collect and spend my money on the Penguin Classics Deluxe editions. I just find them to be stunning, and I really enjoy reading those because I love reading a good paperback. So I'm probably not going to add more to the Wordsworth collection that I have for responsibility purposes. So I'm going to get into my new Penguin Classics Deluxe editions that I've added to my collection. I have 4 new ones that I'm so thankful to have. I'm so grateful to have been able to purchase these. I just am obsessed. Okay, so Dracula. I showed it in like my TBR for like spooky season, but I'm gonna show you again because this is a whole video. It's totally separate. So Dracula, oh my gosh. All the bats in there. Spooky. I love the paperback. I love the floppiness. I love the deckled edges. I just am thrilled to death to have this. I've been wanting this for so long, and I'm so happy to finally have it. So Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. I honestly have not heard of this, but I was trying to figure out what, I was given a certain amount of money to spend, and I was looking and I was like, which Penguin Classics Deluxe edition do I want? Is there no info about it? Probably not, because it's classic and they probably figure, oh, here, I'll read it to you, because I didn't personally know. I haven't heard a lot about this book, but I'm sure that people talk about it all the time because it is a classic. But when I was trying to figure out which books I wanted to purchase, this one really stood out to me and I really wanted it. So let me show you. I love the yellow. I love the fact that she's sitting up there on top of a building. I'm just loving everything about this cover. Very atmospheric, I feel like. Very old. Very classic. Here's the inside, of course, I'll show you. I love the colors, the purples and the yellows and the blacks. Just stunning. And there. Okay, so let me read you. Just if you don't know, I will timestamp this, so just skip ahead if you don't want to hear it. Mrs. Dalloway said she would buy the flowers herself. It's one of the most famous opening lines in literature, that of Virginia Woolf's beloved masterpiece of time, memory, and the city. In the wake of World War I and the 1918 flu pandemic, Clarissa Dalloway, elegant and vivacious, is preparing for a party and remembering those she once loved. In another part of London, Septimus Smith is suffering from shell shock and on the brink of madness. Their days interweave and their lives converge as the party reaches its glittering climax. In this engulfing portrait of one day in a woman's life, in which she prefers the interior monologue and recapitulates the life cycle and the hours of the day from first light to the dark of night, Wolf achieves an uncanny simulacrum of consciousness, bringing past, present, and future together and recording impression by impression, minute by minute, the feel of life itself. I am so excited about this. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it, but I'm very excited to have it. Emma by Jane Austen. I love this cover. I find it to be so beautiful, which I feel about all of the Penguin Classics Deluxe Edition. I'm just like, could they be any more clever with what they do here? Like, I just want to have all of them. Just some people dancing. Same people dancing. Same person standing by herself. Pretty sure. No, not the same person. So Emma by Jane Austen. Big floppy book. Can't wait to get to it. Okay, I'm not going to read you this because definitely if anybody doesn't need to be introduced or talked about, it is Jane Austen. So if you want to know what Emma's about, definitely look it up. Let's do a read along together. Who knows? Let me know. And we could totally do it. Last but not least, I have had On the Road on my shelf for years, and I never got to it, and I'm glad now because I hate to read a book and really enjoy it and then get rid of it. It's so much harder for me to get rid of a book when I've read it and enjoyed it, just because I'm like, but what if I want to read it again? So I'm glad to have gotten the other one out of here because I didn't even know that they made these. I found these at Barnes & Noble when I had to go there the other day. When I drove an hour there to pick up a book that I had dropped in the bathtub. So yeah, this is On the Road. I love the comic book aspect of it. As always, the front, the flaps, deckled edges. I do really want to get to this. I feel like this is a summertime book, so I kind of feel like I missed my opportunity, but maybe in the spring I'll pick this up. But I'm excited. So yeah, that is my recent book haul. I feel like they are responsible books to add to my collection for myself because all of them I just can see appreciating for a long time. So yeah, that is my recent book haul. Hold me accountable. Tell me, I don't want to see another one of these from you because I don't want to do another one of these. I want to do library hauls where I've gone and gotten some exciting books from the library. I want to do rereads. I want to read the stuff that's on my shelf. I don't want to keep adding to it right now. I live in a super tiny house. I don't have the space, and I just don't need thousands of books. I don't think I need them. But these were good choices. I'm very excited about this. Thank you so much for being here. I will talk to you next time. Goodbye.